Yes.
Like super curious, and she wanna join.
Yeah.
But she has a meeting to take, so she's just gonna do her meeting, and she'll join
Of course, I don't mind.
I told her like,
no worries.
Be a problem. Okay, but this way you're not only surprised if
Somebody walks in. Okay.
Yes, but you already take out something.
I want to try that. Cool, that's fun. So, welcome everybody. I'm happy to see you on this first astrology introduction, as it is. Nobody has had sessions so far. You've had one a long time ago. You've had, okay. So do you understand the wheel? What's on this wheel a bit? Like, no, not at all. Okay. Well, today is not going to be about your personal charts. Your personal charts will be affected, and we will find out how in the last part of the session. But I more wanted to tell you about the energy of this year and to contrast it with what we've been going through since a couple of years. So I just wanted to ask you, I'm curious, how was 2025 for you?
Oh my That was a bad year. Oh, yes. It was a really bad year.
What would be the key words for 2025?
Hello, hi. For me, it was a transition.
Transition?
Really? I would say transition.
Transition?
Tumultuous a little bit.
Tumultuous?
Getting rid of things that are stuck.
Getting rid, yeah. We're talking about the 2025 energies. How was it for you? What would be the key words?
For me?
Yeah?
For me, it was a good year. I gave birth and I came back to work and it was okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Big changes too.
Also,
Yeah.
So big changes actually. Yeah. You were thinking, I saw it was coming up to your mind.
I feel like it's just finished, but yet it feels so far away. I can't even remember what was 2025.
Amazing.
I'd say intense, yeah.
Amazing, crazy, right? How we're in a time loop, like
Yeah.
stuff we don't need anymore is being erased from our system. It's crazy. I mean, AI helps too. They say that AI really works on our cognition. But on top of that, I feel that there's something in the energy of life that helps us to release and let go of all stuff, all grudges. And the stuff that's not released like naturally, that we don't let go because it has been processed already and we're ready to let go, is actually coming up. And this week is a very special week because today actually is Kazimi of Pluto. Pluto is the Lord of transformation, is actually the Lord of the underground, is the ruler of the Scorpio. And Pluto has this quality of unrooting, I don't know if you say that in English, but taking out the roots and really taking off the last bits of pieces that are not true to us anymore, you know, like the stuff that we've carried with us for so long and we've been playing the game, wearing the mask, now it's over, we have no chances anymore. The mask is not going to be fitting into our faces because now we're standing in our truth and we're being asked to walk the path of truth. So it's very uncomfortable because we're not used to it. We're not used to show up. We're not used to speak our truth. We're not used to show who we are. We're so used to wear the mask all the time, right? I mean, do you agree? We're social beings and we always want to fit in. We don't want to, you know, and now with Pluto arriving, today is Kazimi, so it means it's really highlighted. And what it does is that it will show us stuff from the subconscious mind will come up and like start showing up in our ideas, in our trauma. We start thinking of old partnerships, old relationships, old projects, old stuff that we thought was already covered and well done. It's creeping up. So this whole week you might have noticed, I mean, for me it was amazing. I mean, I don't know because I was already aware. And I have this astrology group I can give you the reference, you can join. It's a free group where I share some stuff so you can, you know, stay aware. And so the whole week we've been looking at, man, so many old topics creeping up, like old relationship. I got to shed tears about stuff that was a long time ago behind me. And so These are all presents. It's unpleasant, it feels like hurtful, but it's so useful for the next steps, right? So do you want to take a moment and just reflect on your week and take some notes? What have been creeping up? Also about your own behavior. What have you noticed about yourself? Like shadow parts, like, oh man, this is how I am? Is that how I react really still today? Am I still that person? And so these are the things I want you to write down. And just look at them with full love, compassion for yourself. Like, okay, I'm there, this is me today, and it's okay. And the moment we forgive ourselves and the moment we start looking at ourselves with these eyes of, I want to be curious about myself. I want to know who I am. And not just show something that feels good about me. I want to know who I am. Become curious. Who is this person? So take a few moments to write down these super uncomfortable things that happened in the last days. Or maybe not even uncomfortable, just awkward or old, really old files or realizations about yourself. Do you have something to write? No, this isn't yours. What is your name?
Anna.
Anna, did I get your coordinates, your email for your day? Okay. Then you can write them down here, and I will send you your chart later. So what are we writing? We're writing about the files that we're releasing, because today is the day we're going to burn them in the fire of Pluto. Pluto is the god of the underground of Inferno. We call it Inferno actually, because he's the guy who is able to burn the stuff and transform it into new. That's when we get to shed the old skin. Last year was, and until February, that's why I was telling Georgia it's not completely over, because we're still in the snake year. We're still shedding old skin, you know? So I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. Just take a few seconds to go inwards. Just remember, how was the week for you? What did you go through? If you really look, the old files come up. Did you have some observations about yourself? Something you thought, oh, okay. Be curious about who you are. We all have our own files, we all have our own themes also, you know. Sometimes some people it's family, some people it's money, some people it's work, some people it's, you know, past lives, some people it's the body, some people suffer in their body more than others, some people suffer in their families more than others. We all have our own teams. At yourself and speak in third person. This week she did this, you know, this week this happened to her. As an observer. You continue on your own time. Later you just start writing a few things and then you'll come back to it later on your own time. So what I want to clarify here, why are we looking at this more closely? Because we're heading towards a new year in February, because you all know this is not the real actual new year, of course. We're in the middle of winter. This is not a new year. New Year is in spring, right? When the flowers start to bloom again, when nature awakens. Here we're in the middle of winter actually, so everything is so quiet and we have the opportunity to look at what's dormant inside of us, okay? What happened last year, we can take notes and observe, where am I at today? And mostly, what is my one goal for this year? If I had a magic wand, what would I want to see happen in my life this year? And the thing we're going to do this year with this horse of fire arriving in February is that we're going to jump on that horse and we're going to go so fast that we better have a clean goal. Because if we're scattered and we have stuff going on and old files crumbling and coming up and creeping inside our system, we'll not be focused on the road, and that fire of horse will be running and we'll be like, wow, it's going to be really wobbly. So that's why this is an invitation to really go inwards and take these last moments of the snake to shed out and to clean off all stuff that we don't need anymore. So I want to know, I'm curious about you guys, how do you do that? What are your tools actually?
My tools?
Yeah, your tools to do this job, to clean off, to shed out, and to be ready for the next year.
And during December, I did a list of wishes for the year.
Mm-hmm.
This ritual, you do 13 wishes and you burn them all, and it was really nice how things come up. That the idea is that you do the wishes, you burn them, and then there's only one left, and that's the one you're responsible for. And the one I'm responsible for, I'm very excited for.
Okay.
Yeah, and because it's as you say, it's an invitation for myself to actually sit and focus on the thing that I want to do this year the most. And yeah, that's I'm excited about it.
Okay. Do you have a tool?
I completely isolate from everyone and everything. And I really just listen to how I feel, not even how I think, but really how I feel.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And that normally gives me clarity that is really mind-blowing, because I feel, friends, family, work, but also social media, they shape how you think sometimes, but it's not how you really think and feel. And so in mid-December I started this completely, not getting rid, but really isolating completely.
Wow, so you're on a yogic path actually.
I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Beautiful. How old are you?
42.
42. Wow, beautiful. Very nice. What about you?
I found myself in a new year that I was making, with a few close people, we were making lists of last year, lists of what was my favorite meal, what was my favorite trip, what was my favorite, so just creating awareness of what kind of things bring joy, enjoyment in life. So what do I want to increase in the new year? Yeah.
Okay, so lists. What about you?
Yeah, it's a bit similar, but in the negative sense, almost. I did something that a friend recommended me. You asked earlier how was 2025. For me, it was just awful. I mean, lots of problems, professionally, personally, and so on. And what I did on New Year's Eve, I made a list of all the things of 2025 I didn't want to experience anymore in 2026. So I took it, and I was at this moment I was in Sri Lanka, and I buried that in the ground, and and that's it. Hoping it will
Not return.
Okay.
recycle. Yes, recycle. That's it.
What about you?
So I did a similar thing, the 13 magical nights, where you write down, what you want, 13 different things that you want on one side of the paper, and then on the back side of that paper, the first step you've got to take to get it. And then you cut them all out, and then every night you burn them, but you don't look at them until you get to New Year's Eve. And then that one, you open up and you look, it was at the same process that you followed.
More or less, yeah.
And so that, the last one is the one that you have to focus on, and the rest you trust that the universe is going to help do it. And I was also very excited, it was the one I wanted it to be. It was professional, but it was the one I wanted it to be. So since in the gap between New Year's Eve and the beginning of working, I've done my strategy for the year and was really detailed on that one goal. So it's terribly exciting that you've talked about the snake, which I wasn't aware of, and then riding on the horse and going with it, because I'd like to do that. I feel ready to do that. So that's nice.
Awesome.
It's exciting.
Yeah. So what we've been doing in the last years, remember when when Uranus entered Taurus, you all remember, it was around 2016, everybody started moving, divorcing, changing jobs. I mean, it's been a chaos for everybody because Taurus is the sign of stability, is our firm ground, is the material life that we are living here in this incarnation. And so when Uranus, the Lord of transformation, but innovation actually, Uranus comes to bring a wind of change, a wind of spiraling up and bringing things to their next stage, okay? It's super uncomfortable, especially because Taurus, I think that's when we met in those years, Georgia, it's around 2016. It's those years when everything starts to shake. You think you're on firm ground and you've been on the firm ground for the last 10 years and suddenly it's shaky. And so we've been learning to surf. Since 2016, we've been literally learning to surf. We've been learning to keep our stances while everything is wobbly around us. Look at what's happening in the world. Look at how everything is crumbling around us, nationally, internationally, within us, our relationships. Most of you must have changed your circle of relationships also, changed jobs, changed countries, so many things have changed. And we used to, hold on and go like, no, I don't want to change. I like it the way it is. But now we realize that there's an expression in French, is le cadeau mal emballé, is the oddly wrapped gift, And the yogic path, because that's why I was getting to that, the yogic path is to look at life from a little distance and to observe that somehow everything we go through and all these changes are relaxing us and helping us to be more flexible and to adapt more to what's coming up. Because if you're like rigid and holding on, you're going to break. And you know the analogy of the bamboo, right? Yeah. And so that's the whole point here this year, is that we've been learning how to surf. We've been having also the opportunity to look for tools. That's why I was asking you guys about tools. What are your tools? How do you manage? How do you surf? For me, it has been yoga, it has been Kundalini, it has been my online academy, it has been working out every day. Because when you get on the mat and you do your exercises, in Kundalini we burn with the tapas of the breath, okay? We burn stuff, we burn old belief system, we burn all psychological burdens that we carry in our physical body, we burn them through exercise. And so that's how you constantly are renovating and renewing all your cells in your body. So if you do like a physical activity, it has the same effect. For me, it's this, but it could be running, it could be paddle, it could be anything. When you move your body, it helps to regenerate and to recycle the old psychological and emotional lingering stuff that is inside of you. I literally see it like stuff hanging inside of us. And so we have to move our bodies to let go, to flush it out. That's why we also detox 4 times a year. We do a little cleansing of our system. We fast a few days now and then, because we want to clean our system also and let go of all this old stuff that we as humans, we pile up, because we're walking brains also. So we pile up a lot of stuff. And so it's very important for this next year, which is starting in Feb, so we still have a little time, to really look at ourselves with sobriety. We say sober, be sober about yourself. Don't go into the pinky glasses or this is how I wish everybody saw me, or this is how I wish I was. It's more about who am I really in? Who am I today with all my flaws, all my dark sides, all my unfinished business, and just look at yourself with a lot of, because the better you know yourself, the Gnoti Soton that we all know, this know yourself, know thyself, the better you know yourself, the better you can handle yourself. If you don't know how you react in this and that situation, if you don't know where your buttons are, then they're going to burst at any moment and you cannot control yourself anymore. So we have to go from self-management to self-realization. That's the name of my next book. From self-management to self-realization. Does that vibrate within you? What does it bring up in you? Self-management, self-knowledge, knowing yourself, but intimately. When you breathe, when you hear in the silence of your breath, you hear what comes up. That's what she was saying. You're getting away from the blah blah, the noise of society, of your siblings, of your family, of your husband, of your wife. Just get out of the noise and you get to know yourself intimately. Who am I within? When we get on the mat every morning with my students, we ask ourselves, what is my energy doing? What is my energy doing this morning? Because we are life. It's not that we are in life. We are life. We literally are all a little piece of life. We're breath. We're walking breath. Breath is within us and we don't control it. Breath is something that just happens within us. Some people call it divine, some people call it cosmic, some people call it, something. In quantum physics, they all talk about it now. It's very important to acknowledge that we're not just people doing things, we are walking miracles. And so get to know yourself, because each one of us, we have a specificity and we have this specific vibration that needs to be at the table. So I've been talking about this since a couple of years already, that the most important thing... Thank you.
Not more.
Oh, I lost it. What was I
No,
We are
walking miracles.
We are
Vibration.
We're bringing our own energy to the table.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was my point. Is that the more you shed out the shame and the blame that we've been carrying also, since childhood, we've been, taught to be like this, be like that. We cannot fully be ourselves. It's not convenient. It's not that. Don't dress like that. Don't look like that. Don't speak like that. Okay, so we've been blaming and shaming ourselves constantly since we're a child. So we're always dimming our lights somehow, right? Do you agree? We're all dimming our lights constantly. So the idea now is to sit on that chair and to be your full self, because you know that expression, if you don't use that chair, it's going to be an empty chair. So we have to be the special frequency that we are. We have to bring it to the table. We cannot dim our lights anymore. We have to show up. It's very uncomfortable. Super uncomfortable. I agree. Because showing up, it means, all the people commenting, blah, blah, what is going to say, what is this going to, is it good enough? The whole, But the more we muscle that, we train that to be ourselves and to get out of the noise and just show up, we're going to start meeting people who need us. We're going to start to be more valuable to our community. We're going to start to be more seen also, because if you hide yourself all the time, nobody can see who you are, and so nobody can walk to you. So that's another very big lesson for 2026. It's going to be a year of showing up even more for the community. Community is going to be a very, very big topic this year, especially because it's the only way to get ahead. We cannot continue being individualistic, and you've been a role model for that, creating this community to start with. And all of us, we have communities around us. So you are all community leaders, actually. All of us, we are community leaders, and we need to step up as community leaders and, hold our stance and be responsible for our communities. What can I bring them? Who are these people who need me? Hi, you're welcome.
No more empty chairs.
No more empty chairs.
I'll find one here.
Okay. And you want to sit in the back? Okay. So maybe we can take a minute here just to see, how do we all show up as community leaders? How are we all showing up already? And how can we improve that? What else can we put on the table, and how can we be more of that in our lives from today on? How can we help more, be more of service, and be more of focus on our community. Because the North nodes are shifting, and that's going to be in June. It's going to go from Leo to, not from Leo. It's going to enter, North node is going to enter Aquarius. So there's a big focus on Aquarius this year. Aquarius is all about community, is all about equality, it's freedom, it's being yourself, being the quirky self you are. I always say Aquarius because we are a bit queer, you know, and we like it. That's what Aquarius are. I'm Aquarian, so that's how we are. It's Aquarius, and be the queer you are, be the quirky, weird person you are. You know, let's make this world more fun and more different and more special. Because we're all normalizing and fitting into the stuff, the normality, and that's not what it's about. So we have to now disrupt this reality and show up as the humans we are. We're not AI. We use AI, they're amazing tools, but we're not AI. So we're not going to normalize and become the norm of the massa. We're going to be ourselves, and we're going to show up as the queer we are. Okay, be Aquarians. I invite you all to my family of Aquarians. Let's all be Aquarians together. The queer hated. I was talking with some queer community this summer, and I told them, that's so cool, you have such a cool community, I love it, you get to do so much, you know, you have more freedom than me, I'm a mother, my kids comment on the way I dress the whole time, and you know, they comment on everything I do, my family, and I said, I want to be queer too. They said, no, this is our community, and you cannot come. And I said, that's so not queer. I mean, queer is inclusive, man, so why can I not be? So that's the little joke about the queer. So please write down a few keywords to bring you back into this whole energy that I'm trying to share with you now about this horse of fire, which is coming in February, and the queerness of how you're going to lead your own community. Who is your community? For who do you want to show up? Who are your people? Put some nice music so you can go within. Such a big role to play in that. Fertility of the mind, fertility of the body, fertility of our energy. What seeds can we plant now that are going to bloom in spring? And what flowers are we going to see? What fruits are we going to pick in the summer? And what is that all going to bring to the world? If we were more of ourselves, if we shine more. Let's all run for president for our own community. And stop playing small. Stop dimming our lights. I made new t-shirts now. It's like holding the light. I should have worn it today. It's a woman walking with a lion, and she's holding a torch, a flame of fire, you know. And that's the spirit. That's the spirit of the coming years now. It's us holding the light of our sovereignty, the light of our trust. 2026 is going to be a very challenging year because, as I said, everything is amplified, everything is faster. Jupiter is entering Gemini. That's going to be terrible. Gemini is very talkative. It's the media. Gemini is the media. It's social media. It's talking. It's small groups. It's a lot of information. So we're going to be overwhelmed. This year is going to start a new 1.5 year cycle of overwhelm. So you better have your stances within. You better hold your persona and know who you want to be in this life for this year. It's a wake-up call. There are going to be two highways. the highway of trust and love and expansion, and the highway of fear, distrust, and lack of responsibility, and shaming, blaming, and going down the road, you know. And we've been doing that, and we've been observing that in us. That's the muscle we've been building since these couple of years, is how am I feeling today? What is the quality of my thoughts? What is the quality of my breath? How am I breathing right now? Is it stuck or is it peaceful? If it's stuck, probably you don't have very positive thoughts. So what are my thoughts right now? How am I thinking? I usually tell my students, put a little alarm clock in your phone. If you haven't played this game before with yourself, it's really interesting. Every 1-2 hours, put a little bell. And in the Plum Village, if you know Thich Nhat Hanh, Plum Village, we have this bell. It's a Buddhist center. We have a bell, and every time the bell, randomly somebody rings the bell, you stop, you breathe, you pause, and you come back in the present moment. And this allows you to, first of all, assess, was this conversation interesting? Was this thought interesting at all? Sometimes we even stop talking about what we were talking about because we realize after breathing that it was not so interesting actually. It was just, you know.
I did in the co-working. I put a bell in and then you could all just slide on.
And yeah, it's really interesting. It's very zen because it brings you back instantly in the present moment. We used to have bells. I gave this workshop a few days ago and people told me, yeah, but back in the days it's an old people community. And so, I mean, they wouldn't like if I said that, but because they're not all super interesting. But they said, yeah, back in the days, seniors, yeah, no, they have other names, I'll tell you. So they told me that back in the days there were bells, and regularly in the cities or in the villages we would hear the bell, and that would be the moment that you stopped and just took a moment and went inwards, or connected with God, or connected with yourself, or you just breathe. So I invite you to reintegrate this into your lives and to have this moment of just breathing. Maybe we can just do it now together also. Just close your eyes and breathe. Just, come back to yourself. What is this this blah blah doing with you? How do you feel right now? How's the energy in your body? How's the electricity traveling through your system? How's your breath? How's your chest? How's your belly? How are your muscles? Do you feel some tension somewhere? Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel tense? Is there something creeping up from before, for later? Are you in the next moment, or are you in the past moment? Are you now here? How are your feet on the ground? Do you feel the connection with the ground? Do you feel the connection in your buttock on the chair? Do you feel your back against the chair? How is it to be you right now? If I came to visit you inside of you, what would I see? Is it comfortable? Is it warm? Is it cozy? Or is it dry and a little lack of light maybe? Or what can you add in there to make it more comfy? And please make sure to come back again soon inside of you. Maybe leave a little flower, a little note on the table so that you can come back there later. Yeah, so 2026 is about that. It's about which highway am I riding actually. Am I on the positive highway, or am I on a traumatic highway? Am I blaming someone else for what's happening, or am I taking responsibility? Am I feeling bad, or am I feeling good? Am I resentful, or am I grateful? And so we've been training that too. So many groups of grateful practice, like writing gratefulness notes and stuff like that. It's so important. It's not just a gimmick. It's really training your nervous system to go on the right track, because it's so easy for our nervous system to go on the other track. Today coming here, I had a very well-planned journey. I was going to leave my house at 8:13. I was going to arrive 8:25 at another station. I would change trains and come to Schumann, and I would walk. It would be all very relaxed. I would arrive 8:30. I come to the train is completely changed, 2 hours delay, and I'm like, fuck, I live 1 hour out of Brussels, I'm never gonna make it, it's gonna be hell. So I'm like, no, this is gonna be another solution. So I don't go into the drama, because the drama would be, man, I promised to be there on time, people waiting, I'm never gonna make it. Okay, that's scenario 1. Scenario 2, okay, something else is possible. What else is possible? Just play. I'm always playing. It's always playing with yourself and trying to find other options. Okay, I find other options. So I go down here and I step there, and I thought of taking Uber, but then there's no thing, and then I have to go, and then I have to walk to the metro, and I'm constantly NLPizing myself, like, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to arrive. It's going to be so perfect. Everything's going to be sitting. It's going to be relaxed. I'll be arriving very relaxed, and it's going to be cool. And it happened. But then I was there in the metro waiting for the station. I thought, I do this once every blue moon. I hardly come to city. I live in the village. It's nice. I love it there. I don't need to come here. And I'm like, what about the people who do this every day? Man, I thought this must be so aggressive for their nervous system, relying on public transport, because seriously, it's terrible, because the schedule don't change, your boss doesn't change, nobody adapts to what's happening in reality, but in reality, everything is crumbling. The train don't follow, the public system is not following, nothing is following. So who gets the stress? It's the human. The human is squeezed, so your nervous system is constantly under pressure, constantly. So what do you need to do there to rebalance your nervous system every day? It's a real meditation. You really need to be very aware of that. So if you don't have a very concrete system to take care of yourselves, you're more privileged. I suppose you all have a lifestyle, and you're here, so you're not going to work every day in an office, but still, it's a very big awareness that we need to carry with ourselves. First of all, with the people we work with also, what are they going through, because it's harassing for everybody. And then also the deadlines. The deadlines we put ourselves, the schedules that we keep, pushing on ourselves. How human are there, How much are we accepting? How much pressure are we accepting that is not serving anyone? So that's also something very important we need to look at. I've started working with a web designer, and in the beginning it was super uncomfortable. He said, okay, I pay him every month, and I said, okay, cool, so what's your phone number? I was already ready with my list and making changes every 5 minutes, calling him. I was ready for that, And he said, no, I don't work like that. He said, it's emails, and I answer on my own time. And I was like, what? How can I work like this? And believe me, it changed my life. It organized me. It helped me to structure my thoughts. It helped me to be less on the moment, changing every time and adapting to, oh, this is new, I have to put this into my job. And so it's very important that we keep this in mind. And these are the new generation. I don't know, you guys, yeah, you're also new generation. But from my generation, we're still like supporting the pressure because we're strong and we can do it. And we have been there and we're women, we'll show them. But it's not about that anymore. Now it's about being comfy with yourself. The new generation, they're all comfy. They don't wear these heels anymore. They're all about, being comfy in their bodies. They travel relaxed. They want to work relaxed. And everything has to be cozy. So let's also integrate that philosophy. Because riding that horse, that fire horse, being stressed and outside pressure on top of what we really want to do for our life mission is a huge impact on our nervous system, okay? And you all know nervous system also means stress in the body. Stress in the body means acidity in the body. Acidity in the body means disease. So we have to be very, very careful about that, because this is really the highway, as it's going to be all amplified this year, it's going to be the highway to more of that also, if we're not really cautious, looking at our mind, our mindset, our bodies, the electricity around us, being mindful, sitting there and feeling what's going on in my body, in my aura, in my electric system around me, and also in the society around my community, my family, the people. Tune in and listen. Be in silence as much as you can. So I'm curious, how is that going to affect your day-to-day on 2026? Do you have ideas coming up? Do you see things? Maybe you want to take some notes already, just, things that are coming up right now of, how this is going to shape maybe a different way of doing things this year.
I had, when I was pregnant with the kiddies and I did postnatal exercises, the lady that was following me was saying, every time there's a traffic light, or every time you're stopping to cross the road at a traffic light, you do your perineal exercises. And I've kept that with me since then. And I was thinking, when you were talking about the bell ringing, I was thinking, every time I see a red light and I stop, I just what are my thoughts, what's my feeling, and I'll do the same thing.
Beautiful. And also with our goals, simplify, reduce, don't be so ambitious. Be ambitious, but in a nice way, in a comfortable way. Not ambitious in a stressful, acidic way. Let's keep it really, be mindful of our food also. We really need to clean up the way we eat, the way we drink. No, we can indulge. I mean, it's great to indulge, but also.
Yes, it's calcium.
Yeah, okay.
For you, Georgia. I wanted to ask you that actually, because you were talking about the shadow side of our work here, the things that we want to release. One of my things is I cannot resist this kind of thing. Impossible for me to resist. And that's been going on now for 25 years. So I keep recycling, keep trying again, new year, new thing, and I keep doing the same pattern. So is this the time that I'm going to be able to release that once and for all? Is my astrology going to help? Or am I just back on my own sort of,
It depends how much comfort it brings you. If you realize, if you have a croissant every day, it's not the same as if you have a croissant once in the morning because we're all together and it's fun and we indulge, It's just like it's your birthday, you have a glass of champagne, of course. It's all in the, they used to say it's all in the quantity. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like Hahnemann used to say, the homeopath, it's the poison is in the quantity. Mm-hmm. And it's the same with everything,
The dose that makes the poison.
The dose that makes the poison, exactly. So I'm not saying you shouldn't indulge, I'm just saying...
Do you get help? I'd like a bit of extra help. Because I know what you're telling me intellectually.
But that we need to do a session, because then I can look into your chart and we can discuss that together without any problem. There's a lot of information that we find in the chart that will show us what are your Achilles here, what's your Achilles here, where you fail, where you always, every time you go there you trip. We all have that. We've been working a lot on ourselves and we're mature now. Even as a community, even the younger ones are very mature. And they've worked on themselves because they have parents who've worked on themselves. So we're evolving as a species also. But there are still things that personally we all fail. And it's just part of our system. And when you know it, it makes it less, you go like more, okay, you did it again. But be sweet to yourself. And I think the more you accept your shadow, or we accept our shadow, the more we're peaceful with ourselves as a loving mother. If we can mother ourselves sweetly and nicely, more than our mothers did probably, well, then we're gonna, release stuff that are not necessary anymore. And if you go on a health journey, if that's your trip, if this year you feel like, I'll see in your chart, if you have planets going into the 6th house or in Virgo or stuff like that, then you'll definitely have a health trip this year, It's maybe if you feel it already, maybe if you're talking about it, it's something that's in the back of your mind. So we can find ways of helping you through your chart, but also through other things, and it has to be comfy. Let's keep that word, as the original version, the music of our year, let's keep it comfy. Every time we are in let's find comfort in the discomfort, as we say in yoga, some teachers say that when they do acrobatic yoga and stuff, and so find comfort in the discomfort, So I went very freestyle here. I'm going to read a bit of my notes. So here's how you can recognize in which timeline you are. I told about the 2 highways, ascension timeline, complete honesty with yourself, patterns, wounds, and behaviors. You cannot fake your way, vibrational signatures being read with perfect accuracy. and the other one is operating from fear, manipulation, victim consciousness, unconscious patterns, blah, blah, blah. We know all that. It's also important to observe it in other people around us. Let's not be hateful or judgmental about people who are not there as yet. Some people just don't get it, and they're still in this, negative loop. Let's be loving and show them that another way is possible, and maybe not see them as much as before, if that's the way. I mean, we don't have to stick to people who just don't match our vibrational frequency anymore. Just be very aware of who you are today and who you want to hang out with, and expand. Go toward expanding. Don't go towards people who just bring you down every time, who judge you, who don't get you, people who constantly ask you to explain what you're doing, why you're doing it, and who just don't understand you. Just stop doing that. I mean, that's also note to self.
And do you walk away from those people, or do you tell them?
Just walk away. It's no use to speak. It's no use to speak, because if they don't get it, they just don't get it.
Yeah, but if you walk away, they come back to you.
Well, what they say, it's you starve the thread. So you starve the thread. It's like the two wolves, They say, which one do you feed? So stop feeding the relationship. Just stop feeding it. We have a beautiful tool on WhatsApp. We can archive, we can block, we can do so many things. So just use that. It doesn't have to be violent. Just simply just fade away. And also, I use ChatGPT a lot for that. I mean, I'm not proud of it because of all the ecological, but it's so helpful. Really, it helps me to not indulge in stuff and explain and over-explain. I'm like, okay, I'm done with it. I'm not saying anything anymore. And just be economic about your energy. Be very mindful about your energy, because we've been giving so much. And keep your energy for the right purpose, for your mission, for your community, for what you want to bring to the society, and not for energy soakers who come and just take your energy and make you explain stuff that you don't need to explain anymore, because other people get you. So we should stop, using all our energy to explain stuff to you. It doesn't. So, how to elevate to high frequencies, relieve every grievance, resentment, choose service above self-interest, develop unshakable trust in the universe intelligence, stop trying to control outcomes, and just enjoy the ride, surf the wave, and whatever happens, like in the train this morning, just, okay, what's the gift in this? What am I learning? There's always something behind everything that happens to you. I was telling the other day, I was telling the story of my mom. She was taken to hospital a few weeks ago, and she just lost her sister. She was already very tired, and so on top of that, she had an operation. It didn't succeed very well. Apparently, doctors were stressed, and so I ran down and I said, I felt like maybe I'm going to lose her. This is a couple of weeks ago, so I stayed there. She lives in Paris, and I spent 2-3 days with her, and I did something I rarely do. I laid in bed with her, I held her, I massaged all her body, I washed her hair, stuff that you don't do to your mom anymore. I mean, when do you do these things? And so I felt it was so warm and cozy. She's a cold German woman, so I was like, oh wow, at least there's a breach, I can go and be nice, cozy with her. Turns out after 3 days, doctors say, actually, the whole thing has gone. There was too much fire in her body. I had given her some yogic exercise, so her whole inflammation had left, and she could go home instead of doing another operation. So I was like, okay, that's super cool. But then she went home, and then her original doctor, who was on a leave, came back, and he said, you know what, I have to admit, actually there was nothing. It was just a very big stress that the doctors had, because I was not there, the main surgeon was not there. Actually, there was nothing. And so my mom was like, my God, I went to IRM, and all this heavy stuff from hospital was horrible for her. But then I said, you know what, if you hadn't gone through this whole stuff, we wouldn't have had these 3 days. And these 3 days brought so much to her and to me that, again, it was like a badly wrapped present somehow. And so there are many examples like that. You were saying before, I don't know who was saying that last year was very painful sometimes, and there were difficult moments. If you look at those moments again, like the stuff that you buried in the ground in Sri Lanka, if you look at those little papers and all the stuff you noted on the list, maybe you can, every time, for each event, you can find something really cool that happened because of that. And I invite you to do that exercise, because otherwise it's like putting stuff under the carpet. and it's unresolved. But if you see the beauty of, I'm in love with life, really. I mean, I think life is amazing. I think the energy of life that grows through all of us and that expands us and that creates this beautiful nature, babies, I mean, animals, everything around us is life, right? And if you look at the motivation of life, if life was God, let's say life is God, it's a man, life, okay, life, energy of life, motivation of life is to make you grow. That's the only motivation of life, is that the plant from seed becomes a tree, right? And it's the same for us. The only motivation of life coming through us is that we grow and expand. That's the only motivation we have. You maybe have heard about that book about the tree, The Secret Life of Trees.
Yes.
So that book also tells you that even trees, they have stories between them, they have gangs, like they're not all peace and love, you know, they have their own stories. And so the only motivation of a tree is to find light. That's his own motivation. It's so easy. And for us, it's the same. Let's just go and find light, and that's all we need to do. I mean, we don't need to push our neighbors, but let's find our light and go towards light. And let's be also, and that's what I was coming to, trust that there is always something really beautiful behind everything. Even something really painful, it's actually painful because of what you think about it. It's not painful as such sometimes, you know, unless it's physical, of course, then it's very painful. But if it's a moment, like I lost my aunt recently. It was terrible, devastating for the whole family. But then I thought of her. She was at a really good moment in her life where it would have only gone downwards. Mm-hmm. So actually she left in a perfect moment for her. And her dad brought me even closer to her. Like now she's all around and I feel her all the time, much more than when she was alive. So again, you know, you can turn something into something devastating, or you can just, okay, integrate, upgrade, and shake it off. You know, that's really the process. Integrate, open heart, take it in, what's in there for me, and release. Release. Don't keep anything stuck in your system, really, because that's going to pull you down. Let go of everything that no longer serves your highest evolution, relationship, career, beliefs, identities. We already said that. Vibrational anchors keep you in the old. So be careful of vibrational anchors. Commit to truth-telling to yourself. Even small lies create energetic distortion that prevent you from accessing higher timelines. We all tell ourselves small truths. I mean, strong lies the whole time. Like, oh, I don't drink anymore. I don't drink anymore. But then you have a glass of wine. So it's not I don't drink anymore. I drink sometimes, you know. It's like little lies that we tell ourselves. Okay, so year of the fire, as I told you, fear-based timeline and love-based timeline. Neptune entering Aries, that's a whole new way of looking at spirituality, is going to come up also end of this month. Neptune is the planet of spirituality. It's also the pink glasses that we wear sometimes about life. When it enters Aries, it's very fiery, very innovative. So maybe you'll find a new book that will really inspire you and that will carry your spirituality to the next level in the next 10 years, you know. Chiron entering Taurus is going to be about healing in a very nice, cozy way, grounding. That's in June. Jupiter entering Leo in June. That's going to be really beautiful because Leo is an amazing solar energy and Jupiter is the planet of luck. So having the planet of luck entering Leo is going to be, wow, we're going to be on top of our games. That's in June. Going to have a lot of luck also. In a very vibrant fire way. It's going to be beautiful for the summer, yeah, really. Which is good because retrograde again. Mercury retrograde whole summer as usual. But we'll come to that later. There's going to be a Venus retrograde in Scorpio, but that's end of the year, October, November. And that's a tough one. But it's always interesting. Again, you know, retrogrades, they give us the possibility to go inwards because everything slows down. And the focus is inwards. So who am I as a lover? Who am I as a partner? How is it to be my partner? What kind of a partner am I to the other? You know, what's the quality of the love I'm giving? What's the quality of the love I'm receiving? What is love for me? All these questions around love are going to be there. That's in October, November. All shifting focus to self-expression, new beginnings, 4 eclipses, shifting lunar nodes, Aquarius, Leo, I told you. Transition from Virgo to Pisces, yeah, so we're leaving that now, emphasizing technology, community, creative change. Neptune in Aries is a 14-year cycle. Visionary dreams, spiritual awakening, fiery pioneering energies of Aries. That's end of this month. That's going to be amazing. Very happy about that. Uranus in Gemini, I told you about in April, is that, communication and all that I told you. It's going to be a lot about also new ways of communicating, because Uranus brings change and innovation. So the way we communicate is going to evolve. They're talking about really amazing stuff that's coming out. I mean, amazing. It's not the word I wanted to use. It's more mind-blowing, which doesn't always mean positive. It's not always, but it's there, yeah. So Uranus leaves Taurus for Gemini, focusing on technological reinvention and communication. Chiron in Taurus in June, that's the wounded healer, shifts into Taurus for a new cycle, impacting themes of self-worth and earthly resources. That's in June. I'm going to send this to you. If you leave your email, I can send this to you. Eclipses and nodes. So I told you about the Aquarius-Leo axis. Retrogrades, 3 main ones this year. Mercury retrograde in Pisces, February, March. And then there's one in Cancer, June, July. And one in Scorpio, October, November. Venus, we told already. We spoke about it, October, November. So this year is a year of turning points, balancing technology, Aquarius, with heart-centered living, Leo, Pisces, integrate lessons from 2025 leading to new structures in life and relationships. So I did a month-by-month document. I created this for you, major moments for love. I'm not going to read all of it. Mercury retrogrades, I also prepared this for you. I also prepared a list of new moon, full moon, so you have it handy. It's always good to know. You know that new moons, we plant seeds around a new theme, and full moons, we collect the fruits of that, the seeds that we planted. So it's really cool to keep track of that. I have a little book where I write on new moons, I write my wishes, and then I open that book again, and full moon I write what's happening in my life, and then I go and see it. It's fun to have like a specific booklet for that, it's fun. It's just getting to know yourself better and just observing life cycles, because life is circular, as we know. It's like, the feminine, it's the whole principle of life is cyclic. Transit moments for money and success. I also made a little list for you. Have fun with that. And astrology transit and eclipse calendar and the nodes and the eclipses. Okay, that's that. I think I have covered pretty much everything. A year of reinvention and resilience. We did the 2025 thing. Yeah, some key points also. So everything is going to accelerate. Take care of yourself. Yeah, we already said all that. Celebrate your success also. Make sure to always feed yourself with enough self-worth and self-appreciation, and really go in there and be cozy with yourself and love yourself even more than before. You will need that. Sit in stillness. We already talked about that. And now I found something real fun. It's a one sentence for each sign. So I'm going to read that to you. Any Aries in the room? So Aries.
Before you say, so it's only for the main.
Yeah, it's the main. It's just really, it's a very, it's horoscope. It's not real astrology. As I said, if you want to go deeper in any of these themes, I'm happy to have a session so that we can do afterwards. So for all the areas, the main energy this year is leave the steering wheel. Stop being a control freak. Things will get done, but not through your actions. That's very hard for Aries, right? Seven planets in fire this year. 7 planets in Aries. It's going to be very fiery year. That's why horse of fire, it's going to be a lot of fire. Taurus. Who's Taurus in the room? Yeah? Taurus? You're off the hook. 7 years of change. Now you're good. Yeah, Uranus. Yeah, I told you, Uranus enters Gemini, so you're off the hook now. Now it's Gemini is going to start spiraling. Gemini, is any Gemini in the room? Yeah? Radical change, be available. Rebirth and fun. Rebirth and fun, keywords. Yeah. Cancer. Who's Cancer here? No Cancer? Leos? No, I didn't see any Leos. Virgos.
Yeah.
Virgo, you're off the hook too. 2 years with Saturn in your sign, you've done the work, you've done the work. Feel much more for friends and relationships now. Yeah. Libra, who's Libra? Okay. Libra, discipline, commitment, stop being indecisive, be solid. Go for it, ride the horse. Scorpio.
Oh my.
Yes, cool. Hold the line, focus. You've been distracted in 2025. Now you stay in your line. Go back to work. Do the work. Sagittarius. Okay. June 30, Jupiter enters Leo, so you're for some good times coming up years, he says here. Capricorn. No Capricorns, Aquarians, no, it's not me. And Pisces, nobody. Okay. Well, that's the main energy.
What does it say for Aquarius?
Aquarius, it says focus on something intellectual, and Pluto is in your sign, so there's a lot of transformation for Aquarius this year. Yeah, and I was listening. I always prepare this and I listen to several people, which I really enjoy, and something they were repeatedly talking about is this stillness, the gift of non-doing, the gift of not speaking, of not listening, of really being in the silence, observing the fear people and the love people, the kindness, be a team player, be a tribe player. Mainly they said you cannot mess it up. We keep learning and leaning into everything we're talking about, so we're all doing the work and already in our path somehow. We're not here to slave. That's also something that I took with me. Take different choices, quicker, bolder, give yourself permission. We talked about that before. Speaking truth without fear, more resonance, vibrational match. We talked about that before. Harmony in relationships. There's going to be more harmony in relationships. You know why? Because we're walking away when there is not. So we're just going to end up with people that are more a vibrational match with us. So new connections, another level, new people, new match. It should feel like something you were made for. That's what they said, basically. I really like that also, this sentence, like this year is going to feel like coming home somehow, It's going to feel like everything you've been hoping for is going to show up and you can finally walk your path and breathe deeper.
I will say in the Nine community, I did notice a peak of divorces last year. Yeah, really. Or separations. I don't know what was happening astrologically, but I met with a member this week whose divorces, and she signed an ECD-free, actually I think it was Monday, and she was like, I'm free. Yeah. And it was just this energy, and I was like, oh, that's, so we celebrated, because she wasn't going to do anything. I was like, tequila or champagne? And it was champagne. She was like, really, I want to celebrate. I'm free, and I finally feel free. And I was like, oh, that's such a nice feeling.
It is.
But yeah, I think it may be more than just romantic relationships. There is this element of, are my friends, or the people I'm spending time with feeding me or draining me? I've done a lot of work on this in the last year, people who just kind of take, and or kind of, I don't know if you get this, like kind of very backhanded compliments.
Yes. And it's a bit,
It's
a very sneaky thing. Because it really messes with you, and it takes a lot of time and energy until you get to the point where you say, oh, no, this is not.
What is backhanded compliments? What is that?
It's kind of toxic, like, I can never do how you do it, because like, I really want to spend time with my children. Like, people say this to me. Like, yeah, it's so nice that you're at the club because, I don't want to be with my daughter. I'm like,
oh, wow.
Yes, nice, thanks.
Nice, not the compliment.
Yeah, that's a compliment. I was like, and I'm like, I'm just going to withdraw from these very toxic.
Oh, yeah.
Or like, I'm saying this as your friend, but like, do you think Johan's working too much? Yeah, I know he is, but like, he's a badass, so am I work too much, but as your friend, if anyone has to say that, you are not my friend.
It's true.
Right, yeah. No. So those kind of comments.
Yeah.
Because I care about you.
Yeah. Even family members.
With an excuse. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How many contracts have we been, following up with when they're not meant to be anymore? I mean, family contracts and friendly contracts and even work contracts. Yeah. So that's. I also like the Satanama. Satanama is something we use a lot in Kundalini. It means birth, life, death, and rebirth. And so they were reminding us in these talks that there's this Satanama of life, there's something always, and just be okay with it. Some things just have to die, and it's okay. Something else is gonna, be born, and yeah.
Yeah, something else also about letting go and toxic people. I realized that, in general, I really like people. And I had a very hard time realizing that not all the people are good people, and that not all the people are good for you. Let's put it like that. Not necessarily that they don't make you grow, but they are actually bad. So I realized that if you say, yeah, let's have coffee sometimes, and nobody reaches out afterwards, I was like, you know what? Why? Because I was stressed. I said that I'm gonna have coffee with that person, and in my mind, it's like I have to schedule a coffee with that person.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a tough lesson that I learned, and it stressed me a lot. And then I realized, no, some people are just saying stuff, but they don't mean it.
Yeah.
So just let it go.
Yeah.
That's why it's important really to really listen to how you're feeling. I'm not esoteric at all, but we really have energy vibes, right? And we really feel it actually. There's the brain, and then there's everything else that is telling us stories. And when you really listen to how you're feeling, it tells you so much more than anything.
Sometimes it's difficult, as you said,
absolutely.
because it's logical. Is that person, she's a good person or he's a good person? Those qualities, so and so. But indeed, when I meet with that person, and this is an exercise that I started to do. How am I feeling?
Exactly.
Am I feeling relaxed?
Exactly.
Am I feeling stressed? How is my body position? Maybe I'm overthinking. Well, I'm a Virgo, so.
No.
Is it because your body drives you? No.
Yeah.
But especially for Virgo, because Virgo is very, you say complying? Very service oriented. Yeah. Virgos are so sweet, they always want to be pleasant to the other and of service to the other. So it's super important for Virgos to go inwards and to really feel, is this really good for me? Am I being true to myself? Yeah. And am I honoring myself? Because Virgo has a tough time honoring themselves and going hey, this is me now, my time, And so I think this is going to be a good year for you guys also, really. It's going to be very positive. For all of us, I think, really. If we have this, the more, it's not esoteric, it's more spiritual lessons, and if we take life, from a further distance and we look at things, how they're happening, and we just observe that everything is fine, actually, if we don't let things overwhelm us, and if we take care of our nervous system and of our bodies and of our minds, we're fine, actually. Life is taking care of us because we are alive. We are alive, but we are life itself. We are alive. If you realize that, it's a very crazy thing to think of. We're not just these doing machines, we're alive.
And one last thing, and I'm going to shut up. But yesterday I read something that really struck me, is that if the life that you wish for is not compatible with your nervous system, your brain will treat it as danger. And for me, it speaks because I did realize how much I need to work on my nervous system, even though life can give you all the opportunities and all the gifts that you wished for, you want them, but if your mind and, again, nervous system is not at ease and you're still stressed and hooked up in your old ways, then you're not going to enjoy whatever gifts you have. So I need to, this is one of the lessons that I want to implement and pass the exam of taking care of my nervous system this year.
The nervous system is very easy to take care of is when you do breathing exercises. So
Yeah, I wrote down the
Exactly.
exercise with the bell.
yeah, the bell, but there are many other exercises, and if you want, I can also give you some. And it's a very interesting path because the nervous system really will dictate the way we spend our days. Actually, it will really shape everything. If your nervous system is out of balance, it's hell on earth. It's really not a nice life. So it's a very, very crucial, especially. I mean, I'm a transition coach, so I also accompany people who are transitioning. When you're also in a hormonal transition, if you're in a life transition, if you're in a work transition, a partnership transition, your nervous system is out of balance. So it's a very important moment also to get that, to be accompanied, to walk yourself through the next stage and to relax your system again. And so that's a very interesting work that can be done. So bring joy, higher frequency, play out in ways that feel true and good to you. Oh, and then I printed some Thich Nhat Hanh and some Eckhart Tolle virtues, which are really amazing. These are really two masters that I follow. So it's the kiss the earth with your feet concept. You know that? Kiss the earth with your feet. It's beautiful. It's a mindfulness trick. So every time you walk and you want to be mindful, you imagine that you're kissing the earth with your feet. It's so beautiful. Because you have to be mindful to kiss, right? You cannot just kiss. So kiss the earth with your feet. Ground yourself with each breath, and it calms your nervous system. It reconnects you and drives your body. Walk, eat, and breathe mindfully. Interbeing is another really sweet concept of Thich Nhat Hanh, that there is no separate self. We're all interconnected. So it's very beautiful also to be in that philosophy. Deep listening, deep presence. Presence listens to understand, not just sitting there and preparing the next, like being in the present moment. These are all life virtues.
My favorite from Thich Nhat Hanh is This Is It.
This is it?
Yeah, he did a lot of calligraphy.
Yeah.
And I have that really big, so when everything's happening, this is it, you're here. It's easy to remember.
How do you spell this person? I've never heard of him because I'm not.
Okay, Thich Nhat Hanh. He's a Vietnamese.
That's part of the...
THICHNHATHANH. But do you have your email? I can send you all this little bundle. It's Plum Village, yeah. And then from Eckhart Tolle, which is really, I had a difficult time reading this guy. It's so boring. But then I understood that it's a vibrational match, actually. If you're not in that frequency, you just cannot enter the guy.
What's the
And
name?
so Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart, Power of Now, yeah. And so it's hard to read because we cannot enter. And so if you're in that space where you feel you're peaceful and you really quieten your mind, I found myself in a vibrational match with him. I was so proud, like, wow, I finally entered his real.
I haven't got that in.
Yeah, well, try again, because that book has been on my shelf for years, and then suddenly it was like, you, and beautiful stuff in there. 4 basic concepts. I'm just going to share quickly to wrap this up. The ego is not you. Talks about identification, control, resistance, all that. It's not an easy concept. The pain body, beautiful concept, pain body. I really invite you to read about that. And then the non-reactivity. So that's about it. Are there any questions?
Just ask on the sheets, what is at the top, or that was just random?
Yeah, it's random. What is that? Is it a printer? No, it's random.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not.
What
does it mean?
No, it's nothing. It's just where my mouse was at the moment of printing. I'm sorry, I should have taken it. Yeah, I'm an Aquarius. I do everything fast, so I'm sorry. It's printed and everything.
But I always think they're so beautiful.
Yeah, right. Actually, they're magic wands. Actually, every time you look at your chart, you're going to see something else because that's what you need to see that day. So I really invite you to get to know yourself better through the chart also. Come to reading and I'll explain all to you. And you can get to know the parts of it, why it's like that, what's the design. And I promise every time you'll get back to it, you'll be like, wow, wow, me after so many years of astrology, I still discover my chart with curiosity. I'm like, wow, that was new to me, every time something new coming up. And it's also interesting to have a solar revolution, because there you get the annual energy for yourself, which is also a very interesting path. And then if I can just share a bit about my work, actually. So I'm an astrologer, I'm a transition coach, and I walk women, especially, mostly, through the different steps of life, through physical changes, but also through, as I said, life changes. And my different tools are coaching, astrology, and Kundalini. And so Kundalini for me is the basis of my work, because for me it's the basic hygiene that we could all give ourselves. It's a gift. It's a half an hour practice every day. It's online, and we gather, we do our workout. It's like physical workout. We dance, 50 minutes of dancing, 50 minutes of workout. It's my gym, actually. And then we have 50 minutes of, it's more 10-10-10. And then we have 10 minutes of meditation. So actually, with the academy, you've done your workout. You're good. After that, you start your day. Everybody has their own stuff, kids and work. So that's really something I'm pushing, because I think it's a very interesting tool for the modern age, for the modern women. We don't need to go out to the gym. We just hook online. Many people say, "Oh, I don't want to be on my computer," but it's half an hour, and and you've done you've taken care of yourself, basically. So it's a basic hygiene. So that's one of my big babies. And then I do 4 times a year. I do detox. So now we're finishing a 40 days workout program on the nervous system. So this is ending now this week, and then in March we have the next one, 21 days. And so equinox and solstice, I have these special programs which have a theme, and then we work out every day. And there's a WhatsApp group, and then you get journaling, and so it's a whole thing. It's a package. So voila, that's what I wanted to tell you today.
Thank you. Is it usual to have all these planets moving around? Is this just a very special year?
It's usual, but this year specifically we have the slower planets, so the heavier planets, the more structural planets who change places, and so that's why it's also a feeling of renewal, because they have been sitting in their own old place for a couple of years. So you're right, it's actually a feeling of change, because some things will really have a different flavor this year. Yeah.
Except for this week.
But this week we have the Casimir of Pluto today.
Yeah, when you said it, I had tears in my eyes, because it was really how I felt. I felt so energetic and reborn at the beginning of this year, and then this week came and I was like, no, I don't want to live this again. Oh, perfect, right?
But I feel like from next week it sets tomorrow.
Yes, I hope so too.
Was the end of last year particularly challenging? I don't know, in my world there were such major disasters that happened, not to me but to people in my really fundamental life-death stuff. But so much in such a short time, specifically sort of between November and the end of the year. Is there something astrology, people dropping dead?
Yeah,
so many, it was crazy.
Well, if you look at it from a more spiritual perspective, it's also leaving this realm, and it's ending their work here somehow as a soul, but also for those who went through diseases, cancer and all that, that we can I have also quite a few around me. It's really about awakening.
Yeah.
It's really about being more conscious about what are you doing actually with your life. It's many of those people. I mean, I'm sorry, it's not a nice thing to say. It's hard to say, but there are so many cases of people who were reborn after cancer, who were reborn after very hard disease, and who feel like, wow, it's a whole new life now for them. So it's again that concept of an oddly wrapped gift, And so that is a gift also, especially in Hindu philosophy. We believe that is really a liberation for us. So it depends how you die, of course, but sometimes it's really like, okay, now you've done enough. You've paid your karmic debt, you can leave now. And so, yeah, that's the way I see it, at least, yeah. And so it's preparing and shedding for this new year, because we're starting with such a fresh and fiery energy. Many people would not have been able to cope with this. So the people who could not cope with this, well, they were invited to be here in a different way. because that's also our belief, is that there's not only this incarnation, there are other ways of being here. So
Question. Sorry, you had
So
something.
that was,
You mentioned at a certain point communication for this year, and also, I mean, the force of fire and the lack of energy. How is this a parallel with conflicts? This means that you can have conflicts more easily, or
in our lives or in the world?
let's say in our lives, maybe in the world, I don't know, there's hope, more peace. But
Yeah, definitely more conflict, of course, because there's going to be a lot of fire. So sparks, so you're going to have to be very, very mindful of where you stand, what are the wars that you want to have, and what are the unnecessary wars. You know, where is it wise that you walk away and just leave it? And where do you really need to show a limit? I've been asked to show boundaries a lot this week, for example. It's been really a week where I had to put boundaries with everybody. It was so visually, I mean, interesting. So maybe that's also something you can look at when things pop up, like, okay, what is this showing me actually? What am I learning here? What do I need to integrate? What do I need to improve in myself? Do I have sufficient, you know, am I holding my stance? Am I grounded? Am I firm enough? Am I saying no in the right way? Am I speaking my truth? These are all important things, yeah. And conflict, again, it's a fire energy, so it has a positive impact too. You know, conflict is not always negative. It's also sometimes to shake the tree and to awaken the spark in you, to awaken the fire in you, to make you react and actually realize, oh, but this is not okay with me actually. And so it's important. I met a little boy. Yeah, he was also physically small, but he was 2005, so he was 20. And he's a little boy. He's a little boy. And then he told me, yeah, I gave a workshop, astrology workshop, and then he was hanging there and waiting. I said, okay, he wants to speak, right? So he started speaking, and he said, you know, I think I'm going to the army this year. I said, oh wow. But you're such a sweet boy. He said, yeah, that's why. I'm too sweet and I'm too kind with everybody, and everybody's walking all over me. And I see that war is arriving in Europe, and I want to be able to protect my mom and my family, and I want to have that. I said, you're looking for fire actually. He said, yes, I'm a Taurus. I said, yeah, you don't have enough fire inside of you. So you're looking for fire outside of you, so that, you know, you're learning you want to be crushed so that you can, you know, wake up actually. So that's a little example of that. Yeah, but he's a special water because he's a Plutonian. So Pluto is fire also, in the sense that he has, Scorpios are ruled by Pluto and by Aries. So they're very Martian also. Scorpios are not scared, that's why he's a very good lawyer. They're not scared to go and fight and, you know, kick ass. Scorpios, they speak their truth. They have no problem to say what has to be said.
And they feel like me when they don't speak the truth. The same.
And so what?
And they feel like me last year when the Scorpios don't speak the truth.
Yeah.
I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah, but the Scorpio cannot speak its truth if he's not aligned.
Yes.
And
exactly.
I'm living with a Scorpio. My son is Scorpio. He just came back from abroad, and I saw him this year. Was a bit puzzled, trying different things, and he was not super aligned. So he was not feeling well actually. And so I told him this year, get back to it, and he knows what he's done, why, and it was okay also. We have to pass through those moments of, you know, searching, because we're not on highway the whole time, so it was okay, you know, it's part of it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.